Line for Arizona State continue. Remember, they've used 9 different players for their line. We'll add Steve Berg back to the injured list. He's trying to walk off an ankle injury. They're still trying to evaluate it. How bad have the injuries been? Of all the players that have been injured, they all live in the same house. It got so bad this year that even the dog broke its leg during the season.
Now that's when it's getting bad. Poor Hound. 3rd down and 8 for Carpenter in the attack. Leslie Jackman has checked in as one of the defensive backs. He's going to try Higgins. Incomplete, and Arizona State forced to punt. Cutter thinks there was a foul on that far side.
Timing pass that wasn't there. Now here's Ryan Neal. If you're doing a good job, you're going to draw coverage. See, that's a good job. When they got to put 2 guys on you and Rod has to hold you, that they didn't call, but they go with 2 guys on you, then you open it up for your teammates. That's what Ryan Neal has to do in this football game.
Ainsworth, Foster to return it. Fair catch, Burgess. Time for a 30-30 Sports Center update. Let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brent. Tony Dungy called his son a good young man with a compassionate heart at a funeral service today in Florida. Dungy and scores of friends and family say goodbye to James Dungy, who died of an apparent suicide last week. Colts team and several NFL stars were there. Sports Center's coming up after the game. ESPN News, always on.
Reese, thank you very much, and of course the entire sports world, our prayers and thoughts go out to one of the classiest families in all of sports. Those of us who had the pleasure of knowing Tony Dungy as a player, an assistant coach, a head coach, there's not a finer gentleman, folks, in the world of sport. First down now for Rutgers. Incomplete, and reaching for that one was Clark Harris, the tight end.
Yeah, he tried to do it one-handed though, Brent. I think if he'd have gone up with 2 hands on this one, see, he tapped himself on his own shirt right there. I think he could have gone up 2 hands and made this catch. It looked to me like Dale Robinson grabbed him a little bit, and then Clark Harris, a wonderful receiving tight end, misjudged it, thought he had to go with 1 hand. Watch him go up with 1 hand right here. I think he could have got this ball. Maybe I'm being a little critical. Well, he's mad at himself. All right, GD.
Second down and 10. Comes back with the running play. Down at the 14-yard line.
Did we really have to show that replay to me? I had such a good,
you know what it reminds me of?
Right,
when the player hits him and he says it's my fault. Reminds me of the Dan Fouts story. He never wanted to show up a lineman at San Diego, so he'd walk off the field, my fault, and he'd be saying to him, why did you hold on that play? You know, the crowd would never know that he was picking on somebody else.
And that's an important thing for a quarterback to remember. You know, the other players do not want you to show them up. And I thought Clark Harris did a good job there.
Cruz steps in. We got a timeout, Rutgers. 3rd and 4 coming up. Rutgers wants to talk about it here. Time running down. Shiano's got his game face on, folks.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
No one's going anywhere until you tell me who's full. Me too.
New to the Big Bell value menu, the half-pound cheesy bean and rice burrito. Loaded with 3 cheeses, fiesta salsa, and a cheesy, zesty kick. Designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
Number 3, if I'm a new cheesy bean and rice burrito, you are?
Full.
Oh, my.
To get full-on value, think outside the bun. This year, during the Bowl Championship Series, Ford is giving away a bunch of ultimate tailgating F-150s like this one every time a touchdown is scored during the special Ford quarter of each BCS matchup.
Hey, big fella, how them bratwursts doing? Good, so y'all want your buns toasted?
And one lucky truck winner will win a tailgate party with country music star Toby Keith. Log on to ESPN.com, keyword Ford to enter, and watch the BCS January 2nd through the 4th on ABC.
Do Nikon people take better vacations? Or does the Nikon D50 just make it look that way? The digital SLR the world's been waiting for is here. The affordable new Nikon D50 makes taking incredible digital pictures so incredibly easy, just about anyone can do it.
Susu, if I take this left, will that get us to the restaurant?
Oh, Susu, I missed that. I missed a turn. We need a new route.
Susu, can I take this right? Susu, I think this looks familiar. Should I be turning here? We're totally lost, aren't we?
Susu, we're lost.
If you miss a turn, remember, the easiest way to get a new route is TomTom, not Susu. Just tap on the screen, and a helpful voice guides you wherever you want to go. TomTom is your portable, everyday GPS solution.
This telecast is available on ESPN HD, sponsored by Philips Flat TVs with Ambilight. To get ESPN HD, call your cable operator or satellite provider.
Gary, are you surprised that 3rd and 4 and Brian Leonard's over there on the sideline?
Absolutely. Last 3 series has been no Brian Leonard.
They're going to try to run Rice on the toss. And battles for that first down. Tough run by the freshman.
Boy, he is a good football player, Ray Rice, excuse me. He's a little bit like a Mike Hart from Michigan, who used to be known Michael. Now he's Mike Hart. They keep changing on me. But Rice is physical, he's fast, and he's smart runner. He falls forward, and he's got great balance. But I think, don't you think Brian Leonard, those little passes out in the flat? I mean, what? I wonder, remember I said it looked like he got nicked a little bit on that one run?
You wonder.
I wonder if he's a little bit nicked.
You wonder a little bit. First down and 10. Coming back with the freshman.
Boy, I like him.
Oh, good-looking runner. Another first down.
Yep.
And a lot of Rutgers fans here for this one, Jack.
Well, Brent, one of the reasons why is because they developed a fund to help students like Safet Markey by giving them up to $300 for travel. But Safet, you got on a bus 67 hours ago, a 62-hour drive on a bus to get here at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yep, it was a wonderful experience. I actually enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I'm here. It was worth it, like every single minute. So I thank Rutgers for giving me the funds to come out here today.
And you like the fact that your team's up.
Oh, definitely. They're kicking some butt.
Now, what they did is they designed a fund to try and help students because all of the cheap airline tickets, Brent, were scarfed up as soon as it was announced that they were going to a bowl game. But I wanted to let you know, Safet is heading back to New Brunswick at 3 o'clock this evening. He's invited you and Gary to ride on the bus with him. 62 hours, you'll be back for the Fiesta Bowl.
I don't know if I can make it back for that game, Jack. Otherwise, I'd go with the young man. I'd go back to New Brunswick. It's first down in 10. A great story was in the Newark Star-Ledger about you folks up there, you Rutgers fans. Do you remember Greasy Tony's? Used to be at Easton and Somerset in New Brunswick. Do you remember back in the old days? There's some of you old timers now. And after this play, we'll talk some more about Greasy Tony's and its significance in this game. Bouncing is Ryan to the right on the move. And this will be second down and short. Anyway, that was a restaurant there for years. And because of eminent domain, Tony Giorgigiani was forced out. He's now 75 years old. And folks, he moved Greasy Tony's Steakhouse to Tempe, Arizona, very close to Arizona State. And the Rutgers, the knowledgeable Rutgers fan base, they have been hanging out down there. And the paper, the Arizona Republic, once rated it one of the top 10 late-night restaurants in this area. So we might want to get a
You didn't
burger.
bring this up because we get a free sandwich there, do we? Are we headed to Greasy Tony's? There's Leonard
down.
right there.
Yeah, Leonard's back in the game. And here's Rice and more. The freshman powering his way in this game. All right, we've got a penalty flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a backside hold on Rutgers, it looked to me. Oh, block, a clip below the waist right there. Backside away from the play.
So that nice run by the freshman will come back.
Right there, you can see it, the receiver coming right back right there. Oh, wow. Yep, got him from behind. It was Stapleton, it looked like, number 53, that got the guy right from behind, threw on him, and they called it.
Well, folks, how about you can't be surprised about the Affleck trivia question. Who was Arizona State's starting quarterback the last and only time these teams met? The Garden State Bowl 27 years ago. The now defunct Garden State Bowl in Giants Stadium. Who was the ASU quarterback? Second down, 18. Here's Ryan, complete, short of the first down. The 40-yard line, Moses that time, and Manutai with the tackle.
I just can't get over how simple it is. I mean, there hasn't even been 2 hard throws for Ryan Hart in this football game. I don't know. Arizona State doesn't look like they're putting pressure on the quarterback. They're not covering anybody in the zones. They're not playing very well in man-to-man coverage. If Rutgers doesn't stop themselves with penalties, Arizona State looks helpless.
3rd down and 3. Trying a little linebacker blitz this time. Picked up throwing for the first down, just shy of midfield. And Willie Foster with another catch for Hart. I mean, he's putting up some numbers here in the first half.
Yeah, he's putting up Navy numbers. That was the game he came back. He went 18 for 21 for 221 against Navy in his start after he was benched. He's on his way to one of those games. Nobody in his face, steps into it, throws a really nice football. Now, Ryan Hart was recruited by a lot of teams, including Purdue. He bought Greg Schiano's pitch, came here and suffered, and now he gets to play in this great football game.
Pounding the middle. That young man, Tony Rice, is going to be a fine running back.
Yeah, Ray Rice is a fall-down forward speed back, and he's much bigger than you think. His calves are big. You know, I thought he was going to be a quicker guy until I saw him in person. He's actually bigger than Mike Hart at Michigan, and looks just as quick, and he's got great balance. He's a 4-year starter at tailback for Rutgers.
Out of New Rochelle, New York. He finished 5th among all freshman running backs in the country. So he was up there with some fine company on 2nd down and 1. The toss, and he's stoned. Put it down. Arizona State jumps on the loose ball.
Now that's physical football, and Jamar Williams finally made a play. If you don't match the intensity of Rutgers and play physical football, you can't play. Now watch Jamar Williams, number 4. He beats the block, and he hits Ray, and he says, now this is the way you play football, and that popped it loose. That may wake up this defense.
And it was recovered by Kyle Caldwell after Williams delivered the blow. He's a very active linebacker, and they'll take a review, and they can look at this. This, of course, is the college model, and it is a advisor replay official upstairs. The replay is being wound back and forth. I did not think there was a chance the leg was down. I thought the ball was easily out, and no question.
They may be reviewing. They may be reviewing
Arizona State football.
He knocked him out on the play also, because that was a picture-perfect tackle. That was now. I think the Arizona State defense now has to say, this is the way we got to play if we want to play with these guys.
After review, play stance is called on the field. There was a fumble, first down.
You know, Gary, I found it interesting in our meeting with Schiano, because you asked him what we were thinking.
Yep.
And what about speed? Because we all thought Arizona State had to be a much faster team. And right away, Schiano said, we're always fast because we recruited using the Miami model. We're not concerned about that. We are concerned about overall athletic ability.
Out of the last 107 recruits that Greg Schiano has brought to Rutgers, 53 from New Jersey, 33 from Florida.
Yeah, he knew how to recruit down there. He was on the staff. And Herring, the running back, with a huge hole. And it's a first down at the 44-yard line. Green comes up. And again, a reminder, the Capital One Bowl Week rolls along here on ESPN. If you're a college football fan, it doesn't get any better than the next 8 or so days. Michigan, Nebraska, the MasterCard Alamo Bowl, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. 2 grand programs, and that'll be a fascinating matchup between the Wolverines and the Cornhuskers in that game.
Here's Hagan down here. He has had his way every time he's had the ball thrown to him.
Herring. And they're gashing some holes in that defensive front right now. Gary, what's going on?
I like what Dirk Cutter's doing right here. He's kind of sensing, I think, what I'm saying, at least I hope, is that his team is not matching the intensity of Rutgers. So he says the way to do that is to run the football and just kind of build up that heat in his football team, then he can throw it deep. And you can see what Dirk has done. Everywhere he's been, he's produced quarterbacks. 7 quarterbacks have played in the NFL that Dirk Cutter has touched throughout his course. That's Sam Keller, by the way, standing right next to Dirk Cutter, the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year.
Sam's daddy was a fine player at Michigan. And last year, Sam Keller came on, and he defeated Purdue in the bowl game, a comeback in the 4th quarter. And Sam Keller was rolling along this year until the injury. And Dirk is going to come out now and talk to the offense. Again, he's the mastermind behind the offense. Schiano, of course, running the defense on the far side. So here's 3rd down for Arizona State, 160 total yards, and for Rutgers, 272. Carpenter on that deep drop. There's a penalty flag. Incomplete. Holding against ASU. So we've got a holding penalty here.
Only a 3-man rush. You can look at the outside. There's Ryan Neal. He gets inside Chaz White. There's the clear hold, and that's what Ryan Neal has to do. Make plays, force plays.
Now let's check in down below with Jack, Gary.
Well, Gary, you're talking about the need for this team, the ASU Sun Devils, to get tougher. That was the message all week. Remember, Dirk Cutter told us he challenged his team. He said, you know, a lot of people say Rutgers is tougher. And he said, guys, you got to go out there and prove them wrong. We'll have to wait and see if the message was delivered properly.
And Jack, he just called a timeout because the penalty was declined, forcing an Arizona State punt. And he wants to talk about it here with 7:43 to go.
Because a car shouldn't just use energy. It should create it. Introducing the mid-size Ford Fusion. More innovation from Ford. For a life in drive.
We make 18 award-winning styles of Samuel Adams. Which is your favorite?
I like the lager the best.
Yeah, that's still my favorite, too. The cream stout? I like the dark beers.
Sam Light is my drink.
Boston Ale. I think that it's the best ale that's out in the market. Black lager. It's just really smooth.
I like the Sam Seasonal, regardless of the season.
Which way is? I didn't know there were 18. I've probably tried 7 or 8, so I got some work to do.
And I don't even have that insurance.
What insurance, Santa?
The one that pays you cash if you're hurt and can't work.
Huh?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Can you just send out the toys?
Growth is an irresistible power of nature. Protection is the most natural of instincts. And it's only when these two forces work in harmony that we can truly discover all the richness of life. At Prudential Financial, we grow and protect wealth so you can discover all the richness of your life. Growth and protection. At Prudential Financial, it just comes naturally.
ESPN College Football, the Insight Bowl, is brought to you by Insight, provider of IT solutions for the way you work. And in part by Ford F-150, built Ford Top. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
A team that is only 2 of 5 on 3rd downs has decided to go on 4th down. Carpenter, and it's picked off on the far side. Hold on now. Roberson was the defender. He picked it off, but there's a penalty flag. Carpenter is down.
It's going to be roughing the passer on Ryan Miller. It's going to be roughing the passer on Rudy Carpenter on that play.
1st down.
I'll tell you, Ryan Miller worked his way through 2 players to get to Carpenter on this. Watch Ryan Miller. 1, throws him off, gets in there. Oh, gee.
And Neal is the one who's going to take the penalty.
Ryan Neal, I'll tell you, that's a questionable one. He wrapped him up. Well, what are you going to do?
I think when you wrap him up, Gary, I would agree with the call.
Really?
That you got to protect him in this.
Well, you got a high motor guy right there. And
ball was gone.
Yeah.
What do we think about that up here? Everybody kind of, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm Greg Schiano, I say, guys, keep playing the same way. You know, you know, it's one of those calls. You're going to make it. You got to live with it if you're Greg Schiano.
I don't want to ask Tony Soprano how he's doing.
I'll tell you that's a huge play, though, in this football game, isn't it?
It is. First down and 10. 4th down. They had an interception on the far side. They would have had the ball at midfield. Instead, the Sun Devils are at the Rutgers 25. And there's Higgins with that great body. He just shields off the defensive back, makes the catch at the 5-yard line. Corey Barnes had no chance.
Yeah, see, that's what I think that Hagan can do in the NFL. He's a big receiver and smart. I kind of liken him to Rod Smith at Denver. He goes up, now watch him protect the ball exactly like you say and catch it with his body. Now, Michael Irvin really preaches that. He says when you're in traffic, use your 3rd hand. Catch it with your chest and your 2 hands. I totally believe in that.
Burgess is the running back. Counter step, and he is stopped short of the end zone. Lewis among the Scarlet Knights in there defensively.
I think Rudy Burgess isn't a kind of a go-to guy. In the last 4 games for Arizona State, Rudy Burgess has caught 38 passes and run 74 times. That means he's touched the ball over 100 times in the last 4 games. 25 touches a game for number 3.
He's still right in there, Gary.
Yep.
That familiar H-back look of Dirk Cutter's offense. Looking, corner, incomplete. ASU wanted a penalty flag on that play. Green, the safety, had coverage over there in the corner.
Rudy would like this one back. Watch Miller goes here, tight end goes there. He should have thrown the ball to the flat. Watch how open Miller is. Throw the ball to the flat and you got a touchdown right there. There's the touchdown. Here's the forced throw right there. Rudy forced to throw. He had a touchdown in the corner.
Yes. All right.
3rd down and goal. Carpenter can't find an open receiver. Now underneath, and it's incomplete. So a decision for Cutter. He has a 4th down from the 3-yard line, and he does not hesitate. The field goal team is on the field here. He obviously wants to make it a 10. He's not going to second guess himself, I don't think, on this decision either.
He's got a field goal kicker who really, this is going to be an extra point. And Edwards has not missed an extra point all year, so I think this is a sure 3 points. You got to make it a 7-point game. I agree.
So it's a 21-yard attempt. Christensen will put it down for Ainsworth, and there it is. Back to 10. 17-10. It's back to 7. I should say. Cut it to 7 points. And we'll take a break.
Isn't it time for a more productive meeting? Microsoft Office Live Meeting, the service that gives you the power to hold business meetings virtually anytime, anywhere. See for yourself with a free trial. You can present to clients around the globe, train employees in multiple locations, even launch a new product, all with just a PC and an internet connection. It's web conferencing at its best, from the company determined to make it even better.
So Mike Ditka called you a bedwetting mama's boy. It was great radio. Pass salt.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio.
Looking for a used car or truck?
Minivan or SUV. Want low mileage?
A low monthly payment?
Or want one that's almost brand new?
For a bunch less than a new one costs.
Want one certified by Toyota or Volvo? With factory warranties lasting up to 100,000 miles.
Want to buy from a dealer who's been selling used cars for 35 years?
If you're thinking about a used car or truck, if you're thinking used car or truck savings,
you need to think Performance Toyota.
Performance Toyota, conveniently located on 422 West in Sinking Spring.
Piazza Acura of Reading asks the question, why? Why fight city traffic when the region's premier dealer is just minutes away? Why be limited when our selection gives you so many choices? And why settle for less when the stylish TL sedan is now just $369 a month? Lease the versatile MDX for only $389 a month. Or get low 2.9% financing on select new Acuras only during the Drive Home for the Holidays event at Piazza Acura of Reading, 1001 Lancaster Avenue.
Playing this bowl is like a dream come true because, you know, it's been a dream of all of ours since we got here.
And no one has enjoyed a bowl game any more than this Rutgers team. They've waited 27 years. Moses, 3 catches for 47 yards, averaging better than 15 of reception here. Rutgers to get it back, and that penalty, who knows what's in store. It could be a big swing in this game. Nullifying the interception and allowed Arizona State to march down for a field goal, which reduced the margin to 7. Ainsworth, who handles all the kicking duties for the Sun Devils, has the ball on the tee. This one will come out on the 20-yard line. All right, the Aflac question earlier tonight. Who was Arizona State's quarterback the last time these teams met? All right, it was Mark Malone, who was the quarterback at the Garden State Bowl, the winning quarterback that day. Worked several years for ESPN. There's Mark as a Sun Devil. Now he's up at my alma mater, WBBM in Chicago. He's on the air in the Windy City, and he's probably enjoying the success of the White Sox, and now the Chicago Bears are going to the playoffs, and doesn't get any better than that in the Windy City. And incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Now let's take you back to that 78 game. And I want you to watch Mark Malone. He threw for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns, rushed for 2 more. But folks, John Missler had 7 catches for 148 yards and was named the game's MVP. Now, Gary, that's a little grainy back in those days. Now, there's the that'll tell you about the game. Rutgers was up 10-0, and then Arizona State came back by Mark Malone.
They've been up 10 in this game too. Is this eerily similar?
Yeah, exactly. There is young Rice battling for 9 yards. I can truthfully say that they did not have HD.
No, that was a high camera. They had an HC right there. That was a high one with a high camera. Rice, who had the fumble on the big hit by Williams, they come right back to him. I think that's good strategy by Rutgers to get him going off again.
Brian Leonard started out like a house of fire, ran for 20 yards, caught 3 passes for 81 yards and a touchdown. He's the fullback, and he'll frequently shift out into a slot or an H-back, come in motion. Lead Rice, there he is the lead blocker, and he got one. Opened away, and it's 1st down, Rutgers. Good looking running game.
Yeah, you know what? He is smart too. You see on Rice, he kind of paused when he got the ball. Watch him get it, pause right there, and then take it. Kind of lets it happen. He's not anxious, kind of stops and then finds it. He runs right behind Leonard. Leonard makes a great block.
Makes you wonder about Arizona State opening up a 21-3 lead on USC at the half in that game, and then could not protect that lead against the Trojans.
264 second half rushing yards by USC.
Stepping away from pressure and firing for a 1st down into Sun Devil territory at the 46-yard line. And Moses, whom you just heard from, with his 4th catch of the night. He's now the leading receiver
Ryan
for the
Hart's,
Scarlet Knights.
oh, excuse me, Brent. Ryan Hart's having himself a nice bowl game here. His footwork all night has been really, really right on. He's feeling the pressure, keeping his eyes downfield and leading his receivers over the middle. He's just having a real breakout football game for him. Nice way to end a career.
You can see why Schiano's contract was extended and renewed by Rutgers. And the freshman hit in the backfield. We've come to the top of the hour here at the Inside Bowl. Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona, used to be known as the Bob, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And tonight, the home of the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, their first bowl game in 27 years. And Arizona State, meanwhile, traveling less than 10 miles to arrive here in the play. They're home away from home. Many of the youngsters had not been here. Others had come down to watch Diamondback baseball games. And so it was a treat to them to be on the field yesterday in practice. 2nd down and 11. Stepping away from pressure. Hitting right. And he's up into just shy of the 20-yard line. Ray Rice showing that he's a good receiver, too.
I tell you, I really like this guy. Watch Ryan Hart. He slips as he goes back. Leonard is going to go out to the right. Little play action pass. You know you got your check down. There's your check down if you get in trouble. Hits him. Runs right through a sloppy tackle by Arizona State. Now watch him fall forward. Goes forward and makes a great play at the end of it. Rice showing he can run and catch the football and knows where he's at all times.
Ryan Hart, the senior from Florida, has now thrown for better than 200 yards here tonight and a pair of touchdowns. The man of the match so far. And Rice not far behind him, inside the 15.
Again with that patience. If so many running backs could watch, I think it's instinctive. I don't know if you can teach this. Some guys just have that feel to be able to go up there and wait for it to happen and then have confidence enough that your burst will take you and find that hole. Rice, look at him. Look at the size of his legs, his butt, if you can say that. Yeah, it's cable. I can say that now. And those calves. I mean, that's a well-built running back.
2nd down, he's a running back in the future, isn't he, Gary?
Sure is. The present, too, it looks like. Right?
Yeah, it's truthful.
He had 217 yards against UConn.
They lined Leonard up back at the running back spot. They let him take over, and he's got nothing but daylight. Inside the 5-yard line, Brian Leonard. So they give up 3. And they're coming back looking for 7 for Schiano. And the Rutgers fans are loving every minute of it here in the desert.
Well, this Arizona State, Dirk didn't have the flu, but he's about ready to throw up if he watches one more of these drives like this, you know. Can you blame him?
No.
He's just shaking his head. He knows that if you can't stop the run, you can't stop an offense.
1st and goal. Leonard, second effort. Touchdown, Rutgers. He got it. This is going to be a long night for the Sun Devils if they don't show some toughness on defense.
You watch it, a big fullback who's got a burst just runs right through Jamar Williams' tackle, gets in the end zone, forward body lean, runs through another one, and then Dale Robinson finishes him off, but not before 6 points go on the board.
There are a lot of people rethinking their opinion that USC might blow Texas away. You pay attention to what conferences do in bowl games, folks. Nito tacks on the extra point. The underdog is in full flight in Phoenix.
In the nation and in the world, Rutgers is making a difference.
University research speeds wireless communication and detects links between diet and cancer.
The history of a uniquely American musical genre is preserved, and professors expand our understanding of culture and society.
From the discovery of ancient stone tools to promising advances in the treatment of spinal cord injuries.
Learn and discover at Rutgers, New Jersey State University.
where the bold Saguaros raise their arms on high, praying strength for brave tomorrows from the western sky, where eternal mountains kneel at sunset's gate. Here we hail the alma mater, Arizona State.
Rutgers 24, Arizona State 10. First half of the Inside Bowl. And of course, a little bit later, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl next Monday. And that will be down in Tempe, the home field for Arizona State. This will be the last year that the Inside Bowl is here. It will move down to Tempe next year. And the Fiesta Bowl and the national championship game will be played in the Cardinals' new stadium. And it is gorgeous out in Glendale, nearby, a suburb. So the Arizona Cardinals have closed out their NFL stay down in Tempe. They'll move to their brand new stadium, and the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl will follow them. Taking it, knee, letting it go through the end zone, and let's check in with Reese. What do you got for halftime, Reese?
Brent, got Lou and Mark alongside as always. We'll have the yin and yang of Tigers, some happy Tigers and other Cats who have reasons to be unhappy. Also some concerns for the Longhorns.
And at halftime, we'll discuss the difference between being good and being great.
What about James Davis, that freshman running back from Clemson? Hey, Brent, is it true to the rumor that Tony Soprano told Greg Schiano that losing is not an option?
Apparently so.
Yes, Mark, I think that was the message that he delivered with his pregame talk down here.
Let's hope that's all he did. Let's hope that's all he did. He didn't have anything else, did he?
First down and 10 for the Sun Devils here. And Carpenter under fire. Drops it off to the safety valve, Burgess. Reaches out to the 30-yard line in the 1st and 10. And so Thursday now, ESPN offering up a couple more bowl games. What a week it's been. 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Georgia Tech and Utah, the Emerald Bowl. And then after that, one a lot of folks are looking forward to, the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Oregon and Oklahoma coming to you from San Diego. High, juggled, incomplete. Hagan just couldn't hang on at midfield.
He would have caught that, I think, if Courtney Green had not come in and cleaned that play up at the end of it. Hagan's just his way he can control his body. You can see why he has just dominated the Pac-10 3 straight years. Now watch this. The ball covered well, goes up. He's going to catch. Oh, look at that. Right off the helmet of Green. That's a great effort by Hagan, and Green with a real smart play to clean it up.
What do we got on the clock here, Gary? About 2 down to 2 minutes,
yeah.
Huh? Second down and 10. Sun Devils would love to get something before the intermission. That's another first down that'll stop the clock at the 45-yard line. Matt Miller.
Better put some pressure on Rudy Carpenter, because if you don't, he's got ability to just zip that ball. He's very, very accurate, and you can see the only way he's really been stopped is with pressure. Let's see if Rutgers brings pressure yet.
And that was incomplete.
There's a penalty flag right in the middle by the umpire that time. Thrown right at the center guard area.
You know, Rudy Carpenter, you asked the quarterback about being behind, Gary, and here's what he had to say to you.
I think guys got to believe. That's you know, one of my main things. You know, a lot of times we get to a point where we fell behind, and we start questioning ourselves. Well, can we do it, or can we come back? And instead of, you know, yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to win this game.
Well, there it is, a tough young man, tough-minded.
He is. He's really, when you talk to him, a very deep thinker. Wasn't expected to play this year. I mean, this guy, it was Sam Keller's year this year, and Rudy prepared himself just in case, and then broke out first game. He throws for 400 yards against Washington.
Penalty has made it 1st and 20 for Carpenter and Arizona State. Sets the screen, and running away from the blockers, Burgess. Tough run to the 40-yard line, and a first down for Arizona State. Clock stops.
Well, you got to know that Rudy Burgess, in those long situations, he did it to Purdue last year when they knocked off Purdue with screen passes. Burgess gets the ball in those long situations. Rutgers and Greg Schiano was matched up man-to-man. He ran right through the tackle.
You know, an insider from Arizona State had told me before the game that they thought they had recovered from the flu, but he was very, very concerned about the staying power when you think ahead of the second half. And they're coming back now with Burgess finding daylight. Another first down at the 25-yard line. So if the flu did take its toll on this team, it could slow them up in the second half. We'll be looking forward to seeing that unfold, because Rutgers is going to have a lead. It appears obvious at the intermission, even if Arizona State can score.
It is, but this is a huge drive for Arizona State, don't you think? If they could put 7 points on right here before halftime, I think this is huge going into the locker room for them.
All right, let's see if they can get it. Off to the left, Terry Richardson.
Yeah, Rutgers going to take a timeout. Greg says this doesn't look right.
Rutgers wants to talk about, wanting to slow him up a little bit, give his team a rest. He works hard with his defensive backs, doesn't he, on how to turn.
He says he loves it too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He says the one thing I really love is being a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, well, Carpenter with his hands full here, Jack.
Yeah, and Brent, Gary was talking about how Carpenter decided to change his mechanics tonight. One of the reasons that came about, he was explaining it to us, that unlike many of his teammates, he did not go home for Christmas. He stayed, he grabbed 3 tapes of what he thought were his last 3 games, and he studied them inside and out. Before the game, when he was talking to you, Gary, I also asked him what he learned from those tapes, and he said exactly what he told you about the mechanics. One thing Dirk Cutter has said about this kid, Rudy Carpenter, is he loves the game, he studies it, he dissects it, and he says he's only going to continue to get better.
All right, Jack, and of course, we showed you Ohio State arriving here yesterday, and then earlier today, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. They were in the Inside Bowl a year ago, but they're coming back for a major appearance in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And Gary, what about this comeback against Stanford?
It was everything on the line. I thought this was the most impressive thing I've seen all year, because when you get there, the way Stanford came down and marched down, Brady Quinn takes him down on that, and it was clinic. It was Tom Brady clinical. That's what Brady Quinn did on that last drive.
Going to be great, isn't it?
It is going to be a
Irish
great
and the
football
Buckeyes.
game.
This, of course, is where Ohio State won its national championship. Dramatic overtime victory over Miami. Play fake, Carpenter. Got an open man. Got him at the 2-yard line, and that is Terry Richardson. 24 more yards, Gary.
Watch Ryan Neal gets right in Rudy Carpenter's face. He's going to come from right there. Watch him get inside, just like before. Get inside Chaz White, and Rudy Carpenter sees him, but he knows he can get rid of it. He gets rid of it just in time and puts it to the outside. Wide open is Richardson.
So the Rutgers secondary under fire here. The toss to Burgess. Slams toward the end zone and didn't make it. They want to get 7 points here for the intermission.
Little toss play. Brent Miller is the motion man that time. Oh, that was close. That was very, very close.
Though, was it? The ball, I don't know if the ball broke the plane when he was down.
You're right, but I don't think Arizona State really cares all that much if they score, because they took another 40 seconds off the clock.
True. Good point. Good point. Carpenter up under center, and Burgess right behind him. He's going to throw for it. There's a penalty flag, and it's deflected. Coming in was Green, the safety that time, but there is a penalty flag. Somebody might have been offside. Let me see. It was the head linesman who came over.
Offside, number 26 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
He said 26. He's 36. I'm sure it was Green.
Yeah, it was the Green who came in on that
exactly.
play. Gary, why not just have Carpenter go right straight ahead?
I thought, well, Carpenter is not the biggest guy, but I'm surprised he didn't run the ball. I have to say that. You can see it. They're going to try to get Miller out to the outside like he was open last time, and Green was probably the guy that lined up in the neutral zone.
Carpenter's thrown for a couple hundred yards. Hart for 222 yards and those 2 touchdowns. They're going to throw again. They come up firing for the touchdown. They just don't stop. Miller. He was last year's Pac-10 Freshman of the Year, only a sophomore and one of the most talented tight ends in the country. When you look down the road, Zach Miller has a great future with the Sun Devils, and Shiano can't believe, I don't think, how wide open he was.
Well, you almost got to sell out to the run when you're down there that close on second down, and Dirk goes with what he's comfortable with, and that's throwing the ball.
39 seconds. Well, you want to call Greasy Tony's and order up some halftime?
Let's do it.
Ainsworth tacks on the extra point. We're back to 7 now.
Remember, he tried to go in the flat last time, and it got knocked down. There's Miller right there. That's a standard play. It's a goal line play 101, and there it is. Perfect read, and this time Rudy puts it right to the big. And you know what? You know what Miller's nickname is, Brent?
No.
The Truth. Now, let me tell you how he got the name. He was so highly recruited that when he came on campus, all the defensive players wanted to see him. And as a freshman, he started making plays, and everybody said, you know, it's the truth. That's how he's good. He's the truth.
You know, they have great tight ends come out of the school, don't they?
Todd Heap, I guess, right?
Yeah. You think about that. Great legacy here at that position. And Gary, you were just ahead of the curve. You know, you and I, 5 years ago, you started saying right away, you've got to have tight ends. You've got to have tight ends at the college level and certainly in the NFL. And we've seen some great ones up there.
And you know why I think it is? It's because of the intricacies of the defense. They've spent so much time trying to fool the quarterback on the outside perimeter to take away those skill guys that there's openings in the middle of the field, and those great tight ends are making plays.
Well, the final 39 seconds here of what has been a very entertaining, high-scoring first half. I think the experts, I think, thought we'd get in the 50s in this game, and we're going to soar right past that the way things are going.
Luckily, there's only 39 seconds for Arizona State, because the good news is we scored. The bad news is we got to put our defense back out there.
Ainsworth drilled that last kickoff. Young man with a strong leg. Take a knee, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. So we'll see what Rutgers can come up with. Hart is 13 of 17 for 222 yards. Moses has been his favorite target, 63 yards with 4 receptions. I remember Sean Tucker, the junior, has that deep speed. He is from Parkland, Florida. That's down in Broward County. He played at Douglas High School.
Yeah.
He's a burner.
He is.
And it looks like they're going to take the lead on in.
This is smart. This is smart. You don't want to make a mistake. Go in with the lead. You have no timeouts left. 39 seconds. Go in at halftime. Let's play a second half. Can't make a mistake and ruin a good first half of football. Your chance of going 80 yards in 39 seconds is almost zero.
So Shiano content to let the seconds tick away here. Up by 7, 41 points in our first half. Dirk Cutter's been trying to dig out from behind or tied all night long. And there's the fullback. Leonard had a fabulous game. And let's check in with Jack and Coach Cutter.
Coach, how would you grade your team's performance in this first half?
Not great, Jack. We're getting our butt kicked right now up front. We can't stop them. So we got to get it straightened out here at halftime.
What sort of message will you give your kids?
Well, we better wake up. We better wake up fast.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
A very honest coach.
Well,
that's what you've been
obvious.
saying. The Scarlet Knights, their first bowl in 27 years. And right now, we send you to Reese and the gang back in Bristol.
All right, Brent, glad to have you along on the Dodge Halftime Report. Lou and Mark alongside. As always, we'll talk some college football with these guys in a little bit. Good, impressive first half for Rutgers against Arizona State, 24-17 at the break. Funeral services for James Dungy were held in Florida today. The 18-year-old son of Tony Dungy was laid to rest after he died last week of an apparent suicide. An estimated 2,000 people came to Florida to pay their respects to the Dungy family and say goodbye to James. The Colts team, along with dozens of NFL stars past and present, attended the 2-hour service. Dungy is relying on his faith during a difficult time.
We loved our son very much. He loved us, and we miss him terribly. But we also understand that we have some tremendous promises from God, and God promises to be with us, and He's with us in the great times. He's with us in the tough times, and our family will stand strong. The strength that we have in the Lord will allow us to get through this just as we get through times of victory. Our grief is great, but from our family, we just say thank you. Say thank you to everyone. We appreciate everybody that's touched his life, everybody that's been part of him growing up. And James he was a good young man with a compassionate heart, and we were glad to have him for 18 years.
Dungy encouraged parents to hug their kids every time they could because you never know when it'll be the last opportunity. Tony Dungy left the Colts after news of his son's death. It has not yet been determined, or at least not been revealed, when he will return to the team. Still to come here on the Dodge Halftime Report, we'll turn our attention to college football. And game earlier tonight, the Happy Tigers of Clemson running roughshod over the Fighting Ralphies of Colorado, and some sad Tigers from Baton Rouge who are going to go to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl without their leader.
This halftime report is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Ohio State Notre Dame, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, Monday on ABC.
At Insight, we make IT work for you. Because Insight connects office networks, your small business can grow. Because Insight delivers secure server solutions, your company can expand across the globe. And because Insight solves communication problems, your organization can touch more lives. IT solutions, from starting up to going global. We provide IT for the way you work.
Trucks are made for pulling. That's why the 5.4-liter V8 in the Ford F-150 uses an innovative 3-valve design. 3 valves allow the engine to breathe better, crank out more power, and pull more than you ever thought possible.
1855. Fred Miller brews his best beer yet. It has everything except a name. Then it hits him. Fred Miller's beer. Good call, Fred. Pick up some 1855 lager, our tribute to Fred's first beer.
The itching and burning of athlete's foot. Lotrimin Ultra gets rid of it with the latest prescription strength ingredient that penetrates to kill the fungus right where it starts. So powerful, 1 use a day is all you need. Lotrimin Ultra, the killer cure.
Welcome back to the Dodge Halftime Report.
It's been a trend for almost all of bowl week. A lot of offense, defense optional. Rutgers 24-17 at the half over Arizona State. But there was one game in which defense was played aplenty. The Champs Sports Bowl earlier tonight, Clemson and Colorado. Charlie Whitehurst in the first quarter to Curtis Bayham, who can pick up about 25 yards, led to a Clemson field goal. Tigers led at 6-3 at the half. Here's Whitehurst, the senior, trying to make good in his final game. He does it with his feet, Luke.
Well, he does this. He's a very fine competitor, 4-year starter for Clemson.
Clemson seemingly had the game in hand, 13-3, but Colorado changed quarterbacks. Brian White to Quinn Sipnewski, who I believe started his Colorado career as a teammate of Byron Whizzer White. They're like 12 years, 6 actually, it just seems longer. Clemson driving now 3rd and 2 from the 40, and this was a senior drive, Mayday, as Clemson marched down the field.
A wonderful job by the offensive line of giving Charlie Whitehurst protection. But look at him fighting for extra yardage down here to ice the game for Clemson.
Well, why do you let him get away with that? He picked on you earlier about talking about Notre Dame. He always talks about the offensive line. Who opened a hole for James Davis, the freshman back here. Davis, the MVP of the Champs Sports Bowl. Clemson wins it 19-10. Missed what was some of the meaningless extra point at the end to keep it from being a doubled-up score. 19-10, the final there as Clemson gets another victory. And now Colorado moves on after Gary Barnett's dismissal. Mike Hankwitz was the interim coach for this game. But Dan Hawkins takes over now and he's got a major job in front of him, Lou.
He does. I think you have to look at some positives. Number one, that they have to have a pretty solid foundation because they were 7-2 at one time. On the negative side, they lost their last 4 football games, and most of them very, very convincingly. One of the biggest problems you have when you take over a losing situation, I did it 6 different times, is everybody said, well, this guy should have been the coach, he should have been the coach, players are talking. I'd walk in, I'd say to him, man, I know you didn't choose me. You would have never chose me because I'm tough and there's going to be a lot of changes made. But I want you to understand this, though. I chose you. I came here because I believe you can be special. I believe this place can be special.
And I think for Clemson, the future looks bright for Tommy Bowden. I think when you look at their season this year, they ended up on a high note at 8-4 this season. They took 2 games into overtime. They lost 2 other games by a total of 5 points. But you've got James Davis coming back. Yes, you're losing Charlie Whitehurst, but James Davis tonight had 150 yards on the ground rushing. He's a true freshman, 210 pounds, can catch the ball in the backfield, can do everything you want at the running back position. But you look at the defense of Clemson. They held Colorado to a total of 124 yards. James Davis had more yards than the entire Buff offense.
Yeah, they play fast. They play with attitude, and replacing Charlie Whitehurst. Now, it's going to be tough because he has been a fixture for Clemson, but Will Proctor has played very well in his stead. When Charlie was hurt at some point during the season, he is expected to step into that starting role. So needing to step into a starting role for another batch of Tigers. These are the sad Tigers. You know, the happy Tigers of Clemson that won the bowl game. Sad Tigers, LSU, and very sad because Jamarcus Russell, an emerging quarterback, hurt his shoulder in the SEC championship game against Georgia, will not go in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl as LSU takes on Miami. Matt Flynn's going to start there. We continue here at the halftime of the Insight Bowl. We'll turn our attention to the national championship game and just how do you get a hold on Reggie Bush? These guys will open.
Get me closer, man. I smell a Hemi. I knew it! The new Ram 1500 with a new front end, new suspension, new frame. It's got a Hemi, all right. And that MDS to save you gas. A new interior. Woo! That can't be good.
Now through January 3rd, get $1,000 year-end bonus cash and grab an 05 Ram for under 15 grand.
8 million American men have diabetes. 29 million have high blood pressure. 50 million have high cholesterol. Many men with these medical conditions have one thing in common. Their love life just isn't what it used to be. If this sounds like you, call 1-800-976-1950 or go to mensfax.com for your free Men's Fax Kit. You'll get a booklet about how diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol may lead to a medical condition that could affect your love life. Plus, you'll get tips to help you talk to your doctor and learn about a medicine that can help. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol, your love life could be affected. So get the facts. Call 1-800-976-1950 or visit mensfax.com. You'll be glad you did. Call 1-800-976-1950 or visit mensfax.com today.
I ran the 800. I studied mechanical engineering and industrial design. I was a conference champion. I graduated with a GPA of 3.2. It took hard work, discipline, and stamina. And believe me, I rely on those things every day raising my daughter.
There are over 360